Welcome. Several flurfs on YouTube have had their channels deleted lately, and most of them start new channels. And often you see them repost old videos, which they obviously think is great videos that they are proud of. Today we have two examples of this. First out is Sleeping Warrior, and he reposts several of his old videos. And the next one is Level Earth Observer. He also reposts all old videos. But do he succeed to prove anything? Let's see later on. And then I have had some questions about what cameras to buy. I will give some advice for that, and I hope you have use of my advices. And in the end, it's the end of the video. Some information about the channel and so on. Okay. Let's look at the first video.
"18 months ago, I made this video, and in this video I demonstrated that if I manipulated the medium, an object could be accelerated without any magical forces. How do I know it wasn't magical? Because I caused it. It's part of scientific method. This video is going to be a challenge to Bob Nodell from Globebusters to support his nonsense, and it's also going to serve as a way of weeding out fake science from actual science, otherwise known as pseudoscience. This is how you work out bullshit from science. You just apply scientific method. Let's have a little listen to what I said back 18 months ago. Just a minute or so. You'll notice that I identify the scientific process where we go through and we itemize all the various components to a scientific test.
Put on your helmet. This is stupid. Sleeping Warrior is on with his egg experiment again. Oh dear.
I could measure the density of a medium, in this case water, and I can make this egg move all by itself with just a little bit of salt. I can observe my phenomena to be that some objects appear to float, some objects appear to sink, some objects will suspend in different mediums. My hypothesis is if I change the medium's density, the egg will move. Newton said, if an object moves, a force is present.
Okay, that was a part of his egg experiment. And then in the video he goes on and plays a bit from Brandon's show where Bob Nodell is trying to explain gravity with electromagnetic fields.
My null hypothesis is that if I change the density of the medium, the egg will not move. I will activate one of the hypotheses. My independent variable, my presumed cause that I must manipulate in an experiment, is the density of the medium. My dependent variable is the movement of the egg. I'll also try and keep everything else constant. The volumes of water, not enough change.
Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a clip from Brandon's chat last night. Somebody sent me this. It was late on for us in England. It was around about midnight. I was in bed. So I missed it all of it. I missed all of it. And what I'm going to do is annotate the key points that he says. Because once we've finished listening to his words, we're going to come back to scientific method and we're going to formulate the scientific method. Because Bob is a man of science, not a man of pseudoscience. And Bob makes a claim. So, we're going to listen to what he says, few minutes worth, and we're going to put the points on screen. Bear with me while we go through it. Do pay attention and listen to his words carefully.
But my position on this is that there has to be an initial bias. There has to be something there that sets this all off. And I'll put the case forward and all that. But I'm really obviously, there's a much different way to look at it. This not only that, but the math allowing that positive force allows us to calculate how things are going to behave. I mean, there is, in my mind, guys, there's no doubt that there's a bias there, and I will. But Bob, but what you guys are not seeing is this bias there that has to be there in the first place, or the density tower won't work at all.
Okay, so we've got 3 positive claims. There has to be an initial bias there, it's positive force, and the bias has to be there, otherwise the density tower won't work at all. Obviously, you know what my response to that would be. Well, we can demonstrate relative positions. We can demonstrate that things are relative. The mediums are relative to each other. We would apply the density tower. Either way, he's making a positive claim. So we can formulate the hypothesis for him and challenge him to support his views with some evidence.
So here we have 2 flat earth geniuses who tries to explain the same thing in different ways. Gravity. And both are so wrong, and both have been proven several times that they are wrong, but they don't understand. And this video Sleeping Warrior reposts. But hold on, he have put on some new material too. Let's have a quick look at a new video from him, and it's about his favorite topic, gravity.
Right, I wouldn't normally read a red top newspaper article because generally they're shite, and this is a good example of shite, because the reality is there's something else going on in the news right now and they're not talking about us, so instead we get this article instead. Nothing useful, but I'm going to use this to make a really interesting, good, valid point. This is called a true or a valid equivalence. Okay, so we've all heard of a false equivalence. This is a true and a valid equivalence. So you're going to have to read it whilst I speak it, because I'm going to transpose this into the equivalence, but read on screen so that you can see what I'm getting at. It reads, Mum left in stitches at husband's blunder after going onto the internet claiming gravity to be a force. Pauline Tremble says her husband Andy went onto the internet correcting a load of flat earthers on gravity being a force as per Newtonian gravitation, but failed to notice that when he checked it up, he was incorrect.
Oh dear, this must be one of the most stupid attempts to prove gravity that I ever heard. And even in Sleeping Warrior standards, this is record breaking. Oh dear. Okay, let's move on to the next flat earth fool.
I'm often asked about maps, as we all are. As we know, full exploration is the only way. Excuse me. Sorry about that, we'll discuss that in a sec. But as far as the isles that I find myself on, known as Great Britain or the United Kingdom, this is probably the best representation I've found. Level, flat, level water, like a level plain as such, with hills, highs, lows. Of course, the sea level here will be the same as the sea level here, and here, and here, because it's level. The level that could be demonstrated with the substance of water. Not this silly pantomime of deceit that can't be demonstrated with any kind of practicality.
Level Earth Observer obviously thinks this is a great proof. He thinks he has a flat Earth map. dear, oh dear. This is a map projection based on a globe. It's not a flat Earth map. Are you so stupid that you believe if the map is on a flat paper, it's a flat Earth map? Why don't you study some and educate yourself in map projections, dear sir? Oh, this is too stupid. Let's move on to the next topic. A question I often get is what brand of cameras do I suggest the people to buy? That's a good question. I only use Canon cameras when it comes to photography, and when it comes to filmmaking I'm using Canon, Blackmagic and Red cameras. So is this the best cameras? The reason why I'm using Canon only when it comes to taking photos is that I have used Canon since the Stone Age, and as I'm a professional and only buy professional equipment, I'm a part of the Canon professional program, so I get a professional service. Is some of my cameras break down, they send me one when it's on service. If I on the Olympics, for instance, taking photos, they have service people at the place we are, and if my camera break down, I immediately can get one instead when they repair it. So it's not that Canon is the best. If I had started with Nikon, I think I only would used Nikon. So that's the reasons why I choose Canon all the time. And when it comes to film cameras, the Blackmagic camera uses Canon lenses, and the Red camera, it's probably the best in its price range. If you are going to buy a DSLR camera, I think you should choose one of the big brands, Sony, Nikon, Canon. I think those three are the best choices. They all make great cameras, they have a lot of good lenses to the cameras, and if you look at the other brands that make lenses like Sigma, Tamron and so on, they make a lot of lenses for these brands. And one important thing, is anyone in your family using DSLR cameras, and are any of your friends that you often go out with using a DSLR, what brand do they use? If you have the same brand, you can borrow lenses and so on from them. Okay, that was all for this time about cameras. In the next episode I will talk about should I buy a compact camera or a DSLR. Okay, next topic. And there we have the end of this video. As I mentioned before, I'm out on a film project this week, a film that will be released this autumn on Netflix. So all my releases this week are made last week, so I'm not sure if I will be on a live premieres or not. If I am, you will see, otherwise I'm back live next week. Okay, that was all for this time. Thank you for watching, bye.